Welcome everyone, I'm Rod Giltaca with the Canadian Coalition for Firearm Rights. Thanks for taking the time to watch this conversational video. I've got a couple of things I want to update you on and also tell you a little bit more about the CCFR. So very first thing, the CCFR is open and operational and accepting memberships and donations. So if you'd like to support us, we'd love it if you did. You can find us at www.firearmrights.ca, so you can engage in both of those activities if you see fit. I also want to take a second to say thank you to everyone who has stepped up right out of the gates to support us. Things have gone really well in the first week of memberships and donations, and we truly appreciate it. And in return, we are going to provide results for all firearm owners, whether you're members or not of our organization. We're going to provide results within the first 60 days. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that in a second. So why does the organization exist? This is an important question. And I can explain this, I think, the easiest in a quick analogy, and I've used it before, so forgive me for boring you if you've heard this before, but we recognize that probably one of the biggest obstacles to meaningful firearm regulation and law reform in Canada is the fact that the general non-gun owning Canadian really doesn't know anything about this issue, and nor do they care. So that's pretty much the issue, and it manifests itself even in basic interaction. So here's my analogy. If you went into any major center in Canada, stopped someone on the street, and you said, hey, do you own guns? They go, nope, never seen a gun. You say, yeah, no problem. Do you think we should loosen restrictions on handguns? They would say, absolutely not. Criminals are already having an easy enough time getting handguns. And then you would follow up that question by saying, do you know what the current restrictions are? And they would say no. I bet you if you stopped 10 people that didn't own guns, 9 of them would give you that same response, and that's a real problem. Non-gun owning Canadians have never had access or had anyone reach out and provide access to the truth. And it's just not something we've done as a community. We've done it on individual basis, absolutely. I've done tons of that. And I talk to people all the time that say, oh, I always try to take new people shooting, and I always try to engage people in conversation, but we need to do it en masse and we need to do it fast. That's my view, and the view shared by the rest of the directors and officers and field officers of the CCFR. Now, how do we fix that? We fix that by having an organization whose mandate is specifically a public relations organization, basically. We're going out there and we are designing our program specifically to communicate with non-gun owning Canadians and also to provide a source for honest and credible communication and information regarding private firearm ownerships and its impact or lack thereof on public safety. I don't think I could phrase that a little bit better, any better in that short of span of time, but that's basically why we exist. So here's what I want to tell you. If you are a member and you haven't read our mission statement, our vision statement, and all of our policies and the rationales for those policies, I encourage you to do that. You can do that on the website. If you're curious about us as a potential member or donator, please read that stuff on our website. It's a lot of work went into it, and believe me, a lot of heated debate within our group. But I think that we can accomplish this goal. I think we can make the firearms issue a very unpopular political issue. It'll be unappealing for political parties to say, oh yeah, we're going to roll out the same misinformation about firearms to make us look like we're interested in public safety, that we're tough on crime. Political parties typically aren't stupid. They'll know that the firearm issue is a dead one, and they don't want to flog it any longer. That's our goal. So anyway, next thing, what are we going to do in the next 60 days? So part of that, and again, just like the last video, I didn't ask the board of directors if I could divulge this information in this much detail, but I'm going to do it anyway and beg forgiveness after. So hopefully they're not going to be mad. But here's what we intend to do in 60 days. And I'm making a personal commitment. We're all volunteers, so I could be late, but I'm making a commitment to myself, in addition to you guys, that within 60 days we're going to produce between 2 and 4 public service announcements of 15 to 30 seconds each. Those public service announcements will have something like, message, and I mentioned this in another video, you may see someone getting pulled over by the police, and then the message would say, can you imagine facing 2 years in federal prison for forgetting your wallet at home? Fact is, firearm owners face that reality every day. Go to www.firearmrights.ca to learn more. And it's so inflammatory, it's so ridiculous, but it's actually true. Most people don't know that. So when they get to our website, they'll be greeted with a 2-minute welcome video and StatsCan information, StatsCan reports, the law, the Firearms Act, and maybe even some guides on how to get through that and find the information that they're looking for. So they'll be able to spend, as I've said before, 15 minutes or 15 hours on our landing page that we'll build specifically for that, so that they can actually understand the law perfectly and become an informed voter when it comes to the firearms issue. So that's only one effort that we're talking specifically about. So we're hoping to take those PSAs and launch an advertising campaign through Facebook video ads, Twitter, Facebook, and if we can get big enough, fast enough, we will even show those commercials on national TV. That's where we want to be at the end of the day. That will create more impact than I think anything that we've done so far to try to promote firearms, safe, responsible firearms use in Canada, and to represent us for who we really are. We're the mechanic that works on your car. We're your next door neighbor. We're the pastor at your church, right? We're the teacher at your child's high school. That's who gun owners are. We're not criminals. And people just haven't had enough exposure en masse. That's why we exist. So anyway, hopefully that was informative. I want to tell you a couple more things. I talked briefly, I put a post up on our website about these early incentives for donations and for membership. So the first 1,000 members will be entered into a draw for a Remington 783 donated by International Shooting Supplies in Surrey. So thank you, Scott, for doing that. And also concerning donations, the top 10 donators by midnight Eastern Time on October 30th, I'm a little late with this video, but you got one more day basically. On October 30th, we'll get membership numbers 1 through 10. So if that means something to you to be one of the first top 10 or the first person through the gates, feel free to send us a membership. Believe me, there's a unique opportunity right now with the CCFR, and that opportunity is that the CCFR is all volunteer. We literally have no overhead. That means if you give us $10, about $9.50 is going to go to do these ad campaigns, to create these youth programs, to create all the different programs that we have and that are going to be run by the hundreds of volunteers that we already have as well. So how long will we have no employees? I don't know. We've created a structure to try to run this with volunteers so that we don't burn up your donations in overhead. But it won't last forever, depending on how big we get, and based on the response in the first 4 days of us opening the doors, it might get a little bit unmanageable quick, but we're working on it. So anyway, the last thing I want to touch on real quick before I let you go is volunteers. So we're still trying to create a structure that we can plug all these volunteers into. There'll be more information coming about that, and it's been an extremely busy week. So if I haven't got back to you, if you've emailed me directly or you've emailed other people in the CCFR and they haven't gotten back to you, it's only because we're running like crazy right now to try to handle what we've taken on so far. So I think another few business days and we should have a grip on everything, and then we'll start getting back to everybody. And I truly appreciate the early support. I can't tell you how much that means to everybody who worked on bringing this thing to reality. So anyway, thanks for the early support. Again, if you want to find us on the web, you can at www.firearmrights.ca. More updates coming soon. Thanks again for watching, and we'll talk to you later.